Well, good morning, everybody. Hey, it is Melanie Mitro, and it is Business Tip Tuesday. So it is August the 8th, and I am back from vacation, which I totally needed that rest and relaxation. Before we kind of dive into our topic today, just one of the things that really I just want to kind of say is that every year, and I'm going to oust myself in an ugly way right now, right? So every year that I have been a Beachbody coach, so for the past 6 years, I have taken vacations, and I will go on these vacations with my family, but I'll work. And I'll get up in the morning and I'll do a couple of hours, and then I will, work in the evenings while people are playing cards and hanging out and watching TV, and I'll be on my phone, and I'm guilty of it. I was guilty of sitting on the beach making posts and checking in with my challenge groups. Totally guilty of it, right? And I because I was so obsessed with building my business and getting that foundation going, that I didn't allow myself like true periods of rest. And I really think that that's a growth process that we go through as entrepreneurs, right? We're number one, we come into a business and we go through this period of a sense of overwhelm, right? And the overwhelming feeling is all of a sudden you're inundated with all of this new information that people are throwing at you, and you're excited about it and you want to make it work. And you feel like you have to respond to everybody at the exact moment that they're sending you messages, and you have no boundaries. So can you relate to that? Like, no boundaries. You're on your phone all the time. Your notifications are on. Your computer's dinging at you. You're answering messages during dinner. You're letting it bleed into your personal life, and you're beginning to feel anxious. Like, what did I commit myself to? I am in over my head. And that's like, I think most new coaches go through that. And then we sort of go, whoa, all right, this is not how this should be. And we realize we're wasting time, and we're Facebook scrolling, and we're spending time on activities that aren't actually helping us build our business, and we call those time wasters. We become aware of that through personal development, through trial and error. So then this new coach, you start to become confident in, number one, in the way that you're messaging people and you're inviting and you're following up. And so you get a system in place. Then you start to tackle that power hour, and you start to get, okay, what are the top things I need to accomplish in my business? And if I could spend an hour on my business per day. And then after you sort of tackle that, you begin to realize, okay, I don't need to be attached to my device at all times. It would be okay if I left and had dinner with my family for an hour, because my business shouldn't control me. It's supposed to give me freedom. And even though I'm excited about it, I need to set boundaries, because I don't want to be giving my family and my friends what's left of me instead of, that quality time that they deserve. And every coach goes through that process of excitement, overwhelm, to it's consuming my life, to all right, I need to set some boundaries so that this doesn't rule me. And so, some of us come to that realization faster than others, but it really happens through professional development, through reading books, through watching YouTube videos, through trial and error. And so while I would consider myself somebody that was obsessed with working, I also have come to the realization that it's really important to allow yourself time to rest. And your business won't fall apart if you take some time off. So over the last week, what did I do? I delegated all of my challenge groups to my current coaches that are helping me out. I delegated my calls that I do. I blocked out my calendar, and I said, I'm going to be on vacation. If you need something, ask in the team page. I have qualified coaches that will help you. I've got leaders. Like, don't worry, I will be back. And then I just asked, for some help. I had my assistant help me with my messages and things to kind of keep the ball afloat. And people knew I was on vacation. What I did do was I still got up in the morning. I got up at my usual time because I love peace and quiet. It's my miracle morning. It is not work time for me, but it's my peace and quiet where I can read, I can journal, I can do my professional development, because that's what fills my cup, and silence. I just sort of awaken myself, and I just come into the day. And I would do a scan. I would scan through my messages. Is there anything that really needs my attention? Somebody that wants to sign up, who can I respond to when I get back? And so what I did was I allowed myself that just 2 hours in the morning to do whatever needed to be done. And I made the time to get it done before I left. Like, scheduled things and I got my groups up and running, and anything I wanted to advertise for was put out. And then last week was literally family time. I did my workout, I drank my Shakeology, I ate healthy, I did those things and I posted about them. But if you looked at my social media last week, I talked about my family vacation. I talked about my workout, and maybe a little bit of mindset in there, but I did life. And that is the most freeing feeling, is when you know that you're creating a business that's giving you freedom and is not tying you to a device. And that's a process of being okay with letting things sit, with having that boundary of saying, like, I don't want to teach people that they have to be connected 24/7, that they can never take a day off and they can never have a rest day, because that's not what ultimately, I don't want that for people. And so I am showing other people that that can be done by practicing it myself. So somebody that loves to work, somebody that loves their business and loves what they do, I came back refreshed and full of ideas and excited to come back to work and fully just sort of rested, and I didn't feel drained. And when I came back, I didn't stress about the things I needed to do. I made a to-do list and have slowly been checking them off the boxes, but I feel better. So with that being said, it's important for you to take periods of rest and to know that it's gonna make you more creative in the long run. Okay, so I know I kind of went off on a tangent, and that probably gave you some time to get on. Maybe you were a few minutes late, but here's what I wanna talk about today. So I think this kind of walks right into it. And for some reason, the comments aren't showing up. So if I'm looking over here, it's because I'm looking at your messages. So yes, Stephanie, it's the hardest time with setting boundaries. And for setting boundaries, I don't have notifications on my phone. My Facebook doesn't ding whenever there's a message or somebody posts in a group. It's all turned off. My email is turned off. My challenge tracker app turned off, so that when I want to work, I open the application, and that allows the balance and not that sense of, oh gosh, I hear a ding, I have to respond. That's not a great feeling at all. Okay, so today, here's what we're working on. We're talking about visualizing your goals and setting benchmarks across the way. So I've been talking about the book, The Miracle Morning. You've probably heard me talk a little bit about it. I left my book in the other room, of course, but I bought the journal and I also bought the book. And one of the things that they talk about, that Hal talks about, who is the author in this book, his name's Hal Elrod, and I bought these on Amazon. But one of the things he talks about in there is visualization and visualizing your success. And so, of course, anytime we're working towards accomplishing a big goal in our life, we have to have a roadmap or a game plan. And we have to set sort of triggers along the way that remind us what we're working towards. So one of the things that I encourage you to do is to get out a journal. And what you want to do is just every single day, I want you to sit down and just get into the habit of writing down what you want, what makes you feel fulfilled. And this is something you can do now. And you may not know what your life's purpose is yet. You may not know how this business that you're in right now is going to affect the future you, but you can begin the process of figuring it out through daily journaling. And so one of the things that I do is I just sit down and I write. So for example, yesterday, or Sunday actually, I sat down and I just wrote about my purpose. What really fills my cup. And if you take the business that you're in right now out of the equation. So for me, my life's purpose has always been helping people. So think about what makes you excited, right? Every job that I've ever had in my life, from being a waitress in college at Bob Evans to being to working in a clothing store called BMOS in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, to working at American Eagle as a summer job, to my internship at the Salvation Army, working with kids in an underprivileged area, to being a therapeutic staff support with kids that are on the autism spectrum. It didn't matter if I was doing the job for free, if I was making minimum wage, or if I was making a six-figure income. I always strive to provide the best quality of service that I can provide. I want to be the best at my job. And when I was a therapeutic staff support to kids on the autism spectrum, I made very minimal hourly wage, right? And I didn't get a plethora of supplies to be able to implement the behavior plan that was given to me by the behavior specialist or the company. But I would use my money, my paycheck, to go to the dollar store and buy supplies so that I could create games. And I would use time that I wasn't getting paid for to go online, to find games, to do research, to understand the kids' disability so that I could give them better support. I wasn't getting paid for that, but it was my internal drive to be successful and to make that child succeed and to set them up for success. And then it had nothing to do with money. It had to do with the fact that my passion is to help other people achieve the level of success that they desire or that I feel that they can accomplish and the happiness. And so that was my way in that role and that job of being the best that I could be. Right? Then as I moved on and I got my master's degree and I started running a early intervention program, in Butler County, I looked at that position and I said, I have no skill or knowledge in how to create a budget or a marketing plan or I don't even know how to do billing for OT and PT and speech or staffing. I had to run staff meetings and I faked my way into that job position like, I got this, I'll figure it out. And I certainly did. And I didn't make a very large salary being a director because it's a government funded job, or a state funded job. And we had a budget where we were getting paid out of it. It wasn't very large. And I didn't care. I was willing to stay after. I was willing to go in early. I was willing to do the things that needed to be done to make it successful. Why? I wanted the people that were in our program to succeed. I wanted the therapists to make money. I was willing to bend over backwards to make sure that program succeeded, no matter what. And there were times when new providers were coming into the area and we were being inundated with new people and there was competition. And I was like, how do we elevate ourselves to a better level of support, right? And how do we set ourselves apart from the rest? How much of that sounds like Beachbody and what we do as coaches in the network? A lot of that does, right? And so my life's purpose through thinking about all the jobs that I've had and what has filled my cup, it made me realize that my purpose is to, in fact, help people reach the level of success and happiness they desire and to help them become the best versions of themselves that they can be. Driving force in all that I do is that thing. I get satisfaction out of seeing people succeed and out of knowing that I'm doing the best job that I can do. And I will self-educate, I will self-teach, I will not wait for somebody to tell me what to do. Now, with that being said, as I sit here and I think about my visualization of my goals, I visualize every single day helping my team succeed, getting to the level of success that I want to achieve through my professional development. So as you kind of journal what it is, the next thing that you think about is, okay, I've written this down, but now I've got to be disciplined to make it happen. Now I need to break my passion, my vision into actual tangible things that I can feel, that I can measure my success based on. So the next thing is you've got to make a list of the goals you want to accomplish. And if you sit back and you close your eyes and you say, where do I envision my life 12 months from now, 24 months from now, 3, 4, and 5 years from now? Think about where you visualize your life and allow yourself to go anywhere you want. Don't worry about being judged or if somebody's going to think you're materialistic. Like if you want to buy a brand new fancy sports car, put it on your goal board. All right. If you want to move into a mansion on 6 acres of land with an in-ground swimming pool, put that down. There's nobody can judge you for the goals that you want to achieve. If you want to give all your money to charity, write it down. This is your life and it doesn't matter what somebody else thinks. It's about what makes you feel fulfilled, right? And nobody's saying you have to go blast this on social media. This is your personal hopes and desires for your life. So I started to write down these goals of things that I wanted to accomplish. All right, in 12 months from now, if we could just pay down, I'm going to throw this out there, $10,000 of our debt in student loans, that would give us an extra $500 a month to be able to, save up for a vacation or, put our kids in some of the sporting events or activities that they want to do, right? So I visualized $10,000 in debt gone. I visualized paying off our cars. I visualized, having to have a date night once a month. I visualized going on the Success Club trip, the rewards trip. I visualized being a star diamond so that I could achieve that bonus that I could use to pay for, retirement or investments. And I wrote everything down. And then I put a date on there and I said, by this date, I will be X. And I gave myself an end date, not because if I didn't accomplish it by that date, I was a failure, but because I needed to place some sense of urgency on myself. And I had to create that sense of urgency so I knew what I was working towards. And so what I did was I created this vision board where I cut out some pictures and I put them on a piece of poster board. And more recently, I did my vision board digitally where I just would take pictures from the internet and write, and I would just use, PicMonkey and put the pictures in there and write the text beside it of the end date of what I wanted to accomplish, and I print it. And I hung it on my wall in my office, in my storage room when I first started coaching, where I worked out, so that every day when I would sit on the floor and I would do my morning stretches before I would press play on my workout, I would look at the Magic Kingdom. I'd look at that castle, that first Success Club trip that I qualified for, that I wanted to qualify for, and I would say to myself, it's hard. It is hard to get up every morning when that alarm goes off. It is hard to not hit the snooze button. It is hard to invite people when you're afraid that they're going to tell you no. It is hard to invite somebody to join your team when you don't want to feel like you're selling them or that you are, scheming them, and it's hard to overcome those initial obstacles and build that confidence. But it's not that hard when you look and you visualize what it's going to feel like to take your kids on a family vacation that you maybe otherwise wouldn't be able to afford, or to be able to let your kids be in dance lessons or gymnastics lessons that they really want to take but you can't afford. And suddenly when you visualize their smiles, their laughter, their joy, their excitement, them telling their friends that they got to do something really cool and really fun, now the purpose is bigger, the why is bigger. It's not about you anymore, it's about them, it's about those people. And so I wrote on my goal board, it's not about me, it's about them. It's about them. What can I give to others by working hard through me? And so I visualized that success. And right now, where I'm at in my business, I am visualizing my team. I'm visualizing them signing the coaches they want to sign, paying off the debt, doing what they want to do, helping them find their passion. I'm visualizing them saying, thank you. I'm visualizing them saying, because of this business, I have been able to do X, Y, and Z. And so when my feet hit the floor and I wake up in the morning, I think about, what can I do to be the best version of myself that I can be so that I can give that to other people? And I visualize having a team surrounding me that is not just barely scraping by, that is living in abundance, that is looking at their life, their cup as half full, that is thinking of possibilities, that are empowered, that are going out there and not just building a Beachbody business, but have an impact that is just way bigger than just this small little business that we're building right now. And so when you wake up in the morning and you visualize that and you think about that, it immediately motivates you to jump into action. And so what you do is, yes, there's a lot of things you'd like to do, and then all you do is you say to yourself, okay, out of all those goals on that goal board, what is the one thing that if I circle that is going to help me get to my main goal? That's your push goal, as Chalene Johnson would say, right? So the one thing that's going to help all other things begin to fall into place. And that's where you begin to create your benchmarks. What can I do to help people achieve their goals? And so now I start to say, okay, I know that our benchmark for our business is Success Club. And so if I want to just do average, I know I need to help 5 people. And I know that 1 out of every 10 is going to say yes. So I need to invite 50 people if I want 5 to commit. And then you can break that down to say, okay, that means that I need to invite, 5 people a day every day. If you want to turbocharge your business and you want to make it grow faster, then you're inviting more people and you're achieving Success Club 10. Or if you really want to grow a team and you want your income to grow, you know that you want to be inviting people that you feel would be great at building the business with you, that are inspiring them, motivating. And so as hard as that may sound, and as much of unknowns as there may be in that process, you look at that goal, you vision. I'm looking over here because I'm pretending that my goal board is there and I'm visualizing the success, the goal, the Success Club trip I want to go on. And then I'm saying, I can do hard things. I'm just going to send this message, and you send it and you don't even think about it, right? You use Mel Robbins' 5-second rule and you're like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, send the message, enter. And you just don't think about it. And every day you take steps towards achieving the goal. And your benchmarks, and one of the things I do, so let me back up. Every morning I wake up and I visualize the success. Every night before I go to bed, the last 2 things that I do before I go to bed is I make a to-do list. I actually sit down and I make a to-do list of everything on my mind that I want to do for the next day. And sometimes that list is 20 things long. And then what I do is I look at that list and I simply circle the top 3 things that are going to help me get results. And when I say get results, it's going to be the things that are going to result in a sale or a sign up. Not things that are going to make me feel good, not things that are going to be fun to do, that may or may not give me any sort of, income, but it's going to be 3 things that if I invite 10 people, if I post 3 to 5 times a day, if I expand my market, if I make a YouTube video, though with a call to action, those are going to be the things that produce the results now. And then everything else sort of funnels down after those 3 things are done. At the end of the day, I look at that list and I say to myself, did I win the day? Like, did what I do today actually move the needle forward? Do I have 3 people that their links are out and they're going to commit, right? That's great, but if they don't commit, if I don't see the sale in my back office, it's just an empty promise until they show up. So I know that, all right, I'm going to invite, 10 more people tomorrow. And so every day, did I win the day? Did I do my personal best? Not what everybody else is doing, but my personal best. I can't compare myself to somebody else's journey, but me and me only. And then before I go to bed at night, I visualize it. I say, when I wake up in the morning, I'm not going to be stressed. I am blessed. When I wake up in the morning, I'm going to have an abundance. I'm going to have new people that are going to want to join my team. I'm going to have new people that are going to want to join my challenge groups, right? I am confident. I am excited. This business is on fire. And I speak to myself in such a way where I'm visualizing the success. I am taking my kids on the Success Club trip, right? We are going as a family. I have earned that. I visualize laying on the beach or getting fruity cocktails with the kiddos, right? And getting unlimited ice cream. And so I think about that stuff. And then the first thing in the morning when I wake up, I visualize the success. I read my affirmations. I tell myself I can do it, because the things we tell ourselves in our mind with the people we spend our time with is who we will become. The more that you feed yourself positivity and motivation and inspiration, the closer you're actually getting to your end result and to the goals that you want to achieve. So setting benchmarks is really important. Not thinking you have to tackle everything all at once, but top 3 things. Constantly reminding yourself, if you don't look at your vision board every single day, make it something that you just put on your checklist of your business activity tracker is affirmations and visualizing my goals, journaling. What is it? What is my purpose? What do I feel today? Have my goals changed? There are some times where I cross things off and I say, you know what? That was motivating to me, but I decided that it's not really that motivating. I'd rather accomplish this instead. And so your vision board becomes a work in progress as you refine your life and your business. So with that being said, guys, let's just dive in and say, is there any questions that you guys have about the visualization process or setting benchmarks for your goals? I'd love to be able to help you. So let me see. Here we go. Thank you, Fanny. I appreciate that. 5-Second Rule is another personal development book. Absolutely. That is a really good one. I feel like my messages are disappearing and I don't know where they are. All right, wait, let me see. Let me go over here, find this out. What other questions do you guys have? looking, but my messages do not like me today for whatever reason. Oh, here we go. All right, okay. I'm glad, Vicky. Thanks. You're welcome. Miracle Morning is, yes, that's a book that I am talking about. Let's see. Just got done reading it, doing that now. It was hard for you at first. Yes. Okay. What else? Thanks, Pam. All right. So I don't see any other questions that you guys have, but I hope that this was really helpful for you guys. I hope you gave it I hope you give this a little bit of thought. And as you are either starting your business, or maybe you have been doing this business for a while and you're feeling a little bit lost, I want to encourage you to take some time each day to give yourself that quiet time to do the activities that I've mentioned, where you visualize, you plan, you journal, get the Miracle Morning, read that book, and just join me on the journey of creating that quiet, peaceful time for you to fill your cup. I promise you, it doesn't matter how much knowledge or skill or background that you have, if you aren't positive or if you aren't confident that you can be successful, then you will no doubt self-sabotage your success. So, all right, with that being said, it's time to get visualizing, time to set those benchmarks. Would love to hear how you're doing with that. Feel free to comment and share this video. Go visit melaniemitro.com, subscribe to my website to stay up to date with all the great news and information that is coming out. So have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye, everybody.